know, Chris, of all of the coaches that use our process, you're one of the most successful. I think your results are right up there, equal to mine. You've done a fantastic job of helping people achieve positive long-term change in behavior. You don't have a Ph.D. in this field. Mm-hmm. You've done a great job. To me, the definition of a great coach is not how many degrees do you have or how many books did you write? Do you get positive results for your clients? And on that score, you're right at the top. Without being immodest, what are you doing right? What are you doing right that kind of puts you at a level that's beyond a lot of the coaches that have been trained in our process?
I think the fact that I teach it, Frank Wagner and I teach it, really is helpful. I mean, because you know, cognitive dissonance, you keep saying things over and over and over again, it really becomes who you are. Mm-hmm. And so teaching it, it just makes me a better coach. Now, everybody doesn't get to teach it. One of the things we tell people, you know, just because you went through a 2-day certification, you know, you're not a brain surgeon. There are plenty of things up on the Stakeholder Centered Coaching webpage that you can continue to go. I mean, all of your videos, all of your writings, I mean, it's all there for people to, I mean, one of my questions to people is, how good do you want to be?
Right.
Whether it's a golfer or a skier or a coach, how good do you want to be?
Okay.
And you have to answer that question. So I think for somebody just starting out in this, learn the process. Get good with the process. It's simple. It's not that complicated. You help somebody pick a couple of goals, a couple of leadership skills to work on. On my webpage, there's a list of most worked on leadership skills.
Right.
In an interview for a coaching engagement, I'll take that list on one piece of paper and hand it to somebody and say, if you could wave a magic wand, what are 2 things on here you'd like to be more effective at and be recognized and acknowledged by others as more effective at? I've never had anybody say, you know, as I look at this, there isn't anything on here that I could possibly improve.
I have no room for improvement on any topic, as judged by anyone.
Even if they're just trying to be humble, they're going to pick a couple of things. Right? And then I would say, well, who are the dozen people around you that will know if you've listening more effectively, holding people accountable, taking appropriate risks? Who would know?
Right.
You're really off to a fast, smart start right there. And I will tell you, even then, after that, let's say I get the coaching engagement and I interview a dozen people, probably 3/4 of the time, what they picked in the interview process to work on is what they picked after I've interviewed a dozen people.
You know, Chris, people often ask me, what if they want to work on something that's very different than what you would have picked? To be honest, I almost never have that happen. What they pick always seems to make sense to me. It's never been weird or unusual. And we also get their boss involved,
the boss has to say it.
Everybody has to approve it.
I had one coach call me a couple years ago, and he said, you know, I need your advice on this. And I said, okay, what is it? He said, well, I think the person I'm working with is going to pick the wrong goal.
Right.
I said, really? He said, yeah, I think it's going to be kind of a softball goal, and, you know, I mean, I think you should up the bar a little. How would you get him to change his mind? I said, I wouldn't. He said, you wouldn't? I said, no. He's got to take that goal and go in and talk to the boss. If the boss wants him to pick, keep your office in order,
right,
and they're going to pay you to do that, it's not your job as the coach to structure what they're going to work on. It's them and the person that they work for. And if they get better at that, as seen by these dozen people, if that's not worth a multiple of what they're paying you, then don't do it.
Of course. And in my case, it's even more obvious. I'm working with the CEO of a major company. I'm sitting there. I have to tell them, after I give them feedback, you must do it. Who am I?
Yeah.
I'm not somebody who's going to tell CEO what to do. On the other hand, the board of directors, they can do that.
Oh,
that's their job. That's not my job.
Well, and plus, if you get them to do something,
right,
and then they don't get better at it, they'll say, well, I never thought that was important anyway. Marshall told me to do it. Or Chris told me to do it. No, I don't want to go there.
I totally agree. Great point.